This is the old North Roebuck Elementary School. It has been renovated and is now the Martha Gaskins Early Learning Center Annex. We have made it inside and we're here with Fred Flowers with CWA Architect. You all have done an amazing job turning this project around.
Well, and we're certainly proud of it. Martha Gaskins Early Learning Annex. This was originally North Roebuck Elementary School. And the original school was built in multiple phases. You had a phase that was completed between 56 and 57, another one that was completed between 57 and 58, another one completed between 60, 61, and finally in addition in 2001. And of course the building had its challenges, being that it closed in 2013 and sat unused for 12 years.
Yeah, and we're in the hallway here and you all have turned it around. It looks really great. Talk about what the viewers see behind us.
Well, one of the things that the original school had was lockers. And of course, when you have pre-K, they're not exactly going to use that. And, Dr. Blackman and Ms. Williams were great in coordinating, going to West Center Street, talking to the staff. They wanted cubbies. And we went over there and discovered that they had those sitting in the hall. And I said, maybe we could take those lockers out and give them some built-ins. And so the architects back there, because I'm the construction administrator, as they say, I get to birth the baby after they design it. They implemented these. And so where the lockers were in the main learning corridor, they have cubbies so they can put their coats and books and things of that nature.
All right, well, let's walk and check out different areas of the new annex.
All right, I'll tell you what, why don't we start at the cafeteria?
Okay, let's head there. We're inside of the cafeteria. It looks really nice. But I know there's still some work to be done. Can you talk about what we see here?
Well, what was used to be in this cafeteria, you had green tile walls. Imagine seeing a school that was built in the 50s and 60s era, where they used a lot of ceramic tile. And we had to take all of that down and try to freshen up the look. So what we used was an FRP tile that's easy to clean. So not that the kids would get in a food fight, we certainly hope they wouldn't, but it's easy to maintain. We also have epoxy floors, which we do throughout the building, and is also much easier to maintain for the staff. So we're proud of that. As you notice over there, there's a serving line, and it's not your typical height serving line. That is a serving line that is intentional because they're little people and they've got to be able to get in there. So we're excited about that, and that part right there just tickles me to death, and what's going to happen for them as they matriculate onto the bigger schools, they'll be ready to go.
So I hear the gym is probably one of your favorite areas. Is that true?
It is. When we first walked in here, the entire roof deck had to be replaced. Not only was it rusted through, it was literally falling through. The original floor was gone. The walls had issues. In front of us right now is a new cowl wall system. The glass is gone. People had thrown items through it. The building had been vandalized because it sat here for so long. But one of the things that's going to be fun about it is that we've installed sport court. So, I guess kind of a Boston Garden feel.
Yeah.
It'll have that. So it'll have a traditional look because we wanted to maintain some of the traditional look of the school. And of course, we got movable goals. So the teachers can move those around as needed. They can completely clear the floor if they want to and set them off in the corner.
Will the height stay the same?
For the little guys, I would imagine they probably need to. But in case, Dr. Blackman decides he wants to come over, play some horse, do a crossover, a layup or something like that, he could just raise them on up and go to town.
That's right.
What you see on the floor behind me, those are the bleachers, and those are about to be assembled. So they'll have little risers for the kids to sit on as well.
You told me the gym was your favorite area, but now I'm learning you have more favorite areas.
Well, that's true, and I have to correct myself. This is actually my favorite area.
What's so special about it?
Well, this is the new admin section. And forward of me, if you pan around, this used to be a restroom. And as he pans further left, that was an auditorium.
Wow.
So where you now have office suites, a nurse's station, and a conference room, along with restrooms, is now admin and the welcome suite and administrative suite up front. Now, one of the things we wanted to make sure of was, one, it was bright, open, airy, because this is now the new entrance of the school. And we also have the security bubble that you see in a lot of the facilities. So when they come in, they can't just go through the building. They have to be lit in. So we've got all of that in place. And we're excited about that with the new entry and everything because it really changes the dynamics of the school. Anybody that's familiar with North Roebuck remembers how it looked. It is not the same building anymore. And if you've been in here and you've come down this corridor, you would remember that at one time there was a half-height wall that existed. Well, when we did the demolition, we discovered that the wall decided it didn't want to stay in place. So we had to come up with a solution. And so what we decided to do is to bring the wall down. And one of the questions I was asked when we had some visitors in the school was, why are the windows so low? I said, well, who needs to look outside? It's not us, it's the kids. So, because you'll see them lined up in the hall as they matriculate from place to place. And they can look out there and they'll see the playground out there. And it keeps it exciting and it keeps it bright, allows a lot of natural light in here. It's bright, open, airy, and we're excited about the changes and the differences made in the building.
Okay. And so I guess we would need to go out and check out the entrance.
Sure. Just come this way. We put in this canopy because as buses pull in, they'll be able to pull in right next to the canopy. Of course, we've got the skylight to allow some natural light down.
When the school buses pull up, they will come through here and they'll pull up.
They'll pull up right here and they'll be able to drop the kids off right here. As we come down the stairs here, you can see they started putting in the sod in the playground. And this is the pre-K playground. There's actually going to be two in this facility. You have one for called the little guys and then one for the bigger kids. But that is here now and they're getting ready to come in and put in the final play surface. This courtyard was overgrown. It needed a lot of work. And so this will have a fence around it to protect the kids. We mounted all the HVAC units. We created pockets, if you look up to the rooftops. You'll see, because we were able to do a standing seam metal roof, we were able to create pockets to put the mechanical systems in. We've had the BCS maintenance staff, they've had their hand in this from start to finish. And so I want to make sure I give those guys kudos because, a lot of times the owner doesn't get involved with the project. Usually they're like, it's designed, it's done, and then it's handed to them. But we've been able to have BCS involved every step of the way. And so that was critical. Well, this is a technology lab, and we're excited about this piece and the fact that BCS wanted to put one in. Most of the time you have a pre-K, you're not thinking about technology, but listen, these kids are smarter than you and me. I've got grandkids and they'll take an iPad and they'll make my head spin. So seeing that technology is going to be innovated into the building for the kids, we were excited to be a part of that, wanted to make sure they had the right space for it and that the building was going to be prepared to receive that. So all of these tables that you see here, the school system purchased and had put in place. As part of the contract, we put in all the infrastructure and everything to support it. So this is going to be a great learning space for the kids from a modern perspective and great things ahead. These kids are going to be ready and they're probably going to shoot past, they're going to shoot past some of the other kids, I think, to be honest with you, when they get to the other grades.
You all did a lot of work inside of the school, but there was one area that you didn't touch, and this is it.
It is. We did a lot of things. You look around the corridor, you see the wooden transoms, you see the old tile on the wall. And, that's just part of the building itself. But this one had something special. When I first came to assess this building and I walked in and it was dark, it was dank, anything, you're just kind of sad when you first look through it. It's like, man, how are we going to do this? And you come around the corner and you see this. This right here, and I believe that was Timothy McMillan in 2009 that did this piece of artwork. When I got there and we were talking about the design and going through it, I said, whatever we do, we save this. If there's nothing else on the school that we save, is this. And Miss Williams, Dr. Blackman, and everyone, when they found out that we were saving this, it really meant a lot. Because although the name is Martha Gaskins Early Learning Annex, to see a piece of something that one of the kids that attended school here still here, and not just simply blown away or ripped out, is special. And we're glad that we were able to do that, and the contractor made sure they put in the effort. It looks like somebody just painted it the way they painted back to it. So they really took a lot of care to make sure that this was protected. And this is going to be here for however long the school continues to stand here.
The ribbon cutting ceremony is set for July 29th. I'm Fred Davenport, BCS Media.